Okay, we are now in front of the Gouvernierskantoor here in Jakarta, an old Dutch building, so the governor's office basically. And actually in this chapter we're going to meet Pilate and in his official building kind of, so it's a little bit like that. There's a Roman that is leading the power there in Jerusalem, right? Pilate. He is the governor, while it's the Jews are the locals living there, right? How the Dutch were the colonial power here, or the Romans colonial power in Jerusalem, the Dutch here the colonial power, but both cases the governor. So this is the governor's office. So I'm pretty sure the governor's office in Jerusalem looked a lot better than this one. But I mean, the Dutch, if you've ever been to Holland, you'll know that this is kind of their style. They don't like to be splashy in that sense, right? The reason I'm holding it is just because there's a lot of music in the background, so you might not be able to hear. So I'm trying my best to speak as close as possible to the microphones you can hear. Okay, so let's start. Verse 1. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples across the brook Kidron, where there was a garden, which he and his disciples entered. Okay, so after all the teaching, after then the prayer, Jesus went out. Okay, I looked already at the fact, did he go out immediately? Because 2 chapters ago he said, let's go. Actually 3 chapters from this chapter, let's go, kind of. And then he spoke about the vine. Was that still at the place with the Last Supper? I kind of feel it can be, it most likely was, that the prayer was all there. But maybe not. It's not going to play really such a big role in our understanding of the text. So just after all of this, they had to leave because now they're crossing over the brook Kidron, and they had to go cross over and then up the other side to get to the Garden of Gethsemane. And this garden, in the Garden of Gethsemane on the other side, this is a place where he often went with his disciples. So we can clearly see that Judas would have known this place. This was a place that Jesus often went to. So it's not the only place. The other gospel does as if he never went to Jerusalem, kind of, except for just before his crucifixion. But in this case, there's this garden just outside Jerusalem, where he, other side of the brook Kidron, the Mount of Gethsemane, where he often went. Okay, so clearly we know he went, and from the Gospel of John as well, we see that he went there often. Okay, and so they entered there. Verse 2. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, for Jesus often met there with his disciples. Right? So Judas knew this place as well. Why? Because Jesus often met there. Okay, so again, like I just now explained, this is not a once-off. This is a often meeting. Jesus could easily have avoided Judas and been captured. He could have just gone to a different garden. I mean, he could not have gone to the garden. There's lots of places he could have gone. He could have just skipped it. I mean, he knew. But he was not afraid. Okay, this is the first thing that we see here, is that there's going to be lots of ways how Jesus could have gotten out of this. The easiest, while he could never have come to Jerusalem knowing that this is what they're looking for, he could have skipped the Passover. But now here, this evening, here in this chapter, he could have skipped just going to that garden. He could have stayed in the house, right? Or he could have gone to another garden. Simple. Judas knew this place because he often went there.